Now let's talk about the environment. Imagine what it will be like to have a president who will go before the American people and ask them to participate in a new effort to restore our environment, calling upon the wisdom of our native peoples, informing all people in America what it will mean to restore the land and the sky. When my daughter was 4 years old and she was having difficulty going to a conventional church, I took her out to a park on Sundays, and we would talk about Mother Earth and Father Sky and about the wind and about all of these forces of nature that we have access to, and that when we come into harmony with it, that's what you call peace. So, as President of the United States, I intend to use that pulpit to engage the American people in the cause of conservation, reconcile ourselves with nature, talk about the individual choices people can make to restore our environment, and also for Indian country, making sure that the aspirations and the long-standing wisdom which Native Americans can give to restoring the land is called forth and shared with the nation. It's time to have a president who really understood those underlying principles which caused us to be close to nature to begin with. The writer Thomas Berry once said that the great work of our lives is to restore a harmony and a balance with nature. Just think when we call our native brothers and sisters forward to give testimony to that based on the wisdom that they hold. I will call you forward and ask to join me in leading the way for Americans so we can show all Americans how much we knew and how we must remember what you have been teaching people for decades, for centuries. Thank you. Thank you.
Good answer.
Thank you. And we'll pray for Senator Kyle.
Our next question comes from...
Inhofe. We'll pray for Kyle, too.
Our next question comes from Speaker George Tiger from the Muskogee Creek Nation of Oklahoma.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Indian Country. It's well documented about health care throughout not only this country, but especially in Indian Country, where there's large shortages of funds for us to be able to take care of our needs in health care. As a member of Congress, you have seen the Indian Health Care Improvement Act set idle for 6 years in this administration. As president, what would you do to see that it moves forward in a positive direction?
I'm aware that a month ago there was an agreement reached on the bill. And certainly I support the bill because it's addressing some of the health care needs that have been crying out for help. The infant mortality rates, the diminished life expectancies, children who are burdened with so many different types of diseases, diabetes, cardiovascular disease at such an early age. You know, certainly we need to have that bill that relates to the health of the people in tribal communities. But I want to go one step further. Our nation must begin to recognize the health care of the American people as being a primary purpose of government itself. When you look at the preamble to the Constitution of the United States, promoting the general welfare is right up there. And we are failing to do that. I'm the author of a bill, H.R. 676, the co-author with Mr. Conyers, of a bill that creates a not-for-profit health care system, a single-payer system, Medicare for all. This will make sure that all people, including our native brothers and sisters, have every medical need met, including vision care, dental care, mental health, long-term care, prescription drugs. The health care needs of our people must be held up higher than the profit needs of the insurance companies. And I'm the one person running for president who's talking about challenging these insurance companies, breaking the hold they have on our politics, delivering health for the American people, and not having anyone impoverished by a limited amount of access to or affordability of health care. So I'm ready to certainly support that bill, but I want to take it forward. by planting that flag of health care on the Democratic platform, a not-for-profit system, and by grabbing that banner and running right up the hill and putting it on the White House and saying everyone in this country is going to have a chance to be healthy because we have a government that truly stands for the people, and it will under a Kucinich administration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Chairwoman Shannon Blue of the Lower Sioux Indian Community from Minnesota.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
With respect to the gaming industry in Indian country, tribes have done an excellent job in regulating themselves. How will you ensure tribes continue to have the autonomy to self-regulate, grow their economies, and build their governments?
This then goes to the issue of sovereignty. And when you have a president who understands that sovereignty must go to every area, including gaming, then you have the circumstances where the tribal communities can be self-determining. Now, this will be a new era because it means that for the first time, people will not have to get clearance from government. When you take the responsibility for self-determination, that then is where, sort of things should have been hundreds of years ago. So we're talking about restoring that breach, and it goes back to sovereignty. So yes, it must cover everything, including decisions that are made with respect to casinos. Do you have a follow-up question on that?
No, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Next question.
For the record, this is the one place where you don't have to pray to be asked a question. I'd like you now to take a couple of minutes and wrap up with your summary and conclusion.
When you return to the many communities that are represented here, you will meet your brothers and sisters, our brothers and sisters, whose eyes will still be searching as the brothers and sisters who I met on Montana reservations a few years ago were, for decent housing. You will meet your brothers and sisters who are in poor health, some who are afflicted with drug problems and alcohol problems, don't have access to any rehabilitation. You'll meet brothers and sisters whose children are not getting the opportunities they need for a decent life and for education and college later on. And when you see them and you see that look in their eye, I want you to remember something. I want you to take the time to tell them that there's someone running for president who understands their heart, that there's someone running for president who understands their needs, that there is someone running for president who wants to lift up this nation and understands that the way to do it is to repair the breach that was created so many years ago by the federal government when it comes to our Native American communities. I know the history, and there are so many hearts that are still buried at Wounded Knee. There are so many hearts that are waiting to be called back to a condition of believing in America again. So many hearts waiting for a president who they can connect with. And then from that we move to the heart of our nation and the heart of our world. This is a time for healing. It's a time for leadership, which is joyous, independent, and ready to work with Native communities to restore this nation to a place of honor and integrity, to a place of beauty and joy, to a place where we connect with the deeper truths of who we are, because we have recognized the truth and spoken it and have therefore set ourselves free. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Congressman.
And I'm asking for your support to be your next president. Thank you.
Congressman.
Thank you.